Cone area and surround. What's up, y'all? My name is MBE, and let's talk about cone area and why I say cone area is king, and why you want to have more cone area than anything. What you rather get hit? What you think gonna move through the air and move paper or move air more impactfully? My hand, like this, or this sheet of paper. If you can see the paper moving, if you can slow it down, you can kind of see it here. As I'm moving, you see the paper moves back and forth. Well, it's rigid surface. My finger, I'm able to control it, and it's not. So I'm moving more air as one unit here, as opposed to the air that's being moved with this paper because the edges are bending. Now, same idea when you get a subwoofer. Let's use this as an example. A 6.5. The hardest, the air that's being moved all at one time with the most impact is going to be right here in front of this cone. There is some air being moved as well with the surround. True. But that, if you look at it, and I want y'all to look right here, as y'all can see, as it goes up, let me see. As it goes up, the amount of air being moved is pretty much going to focus right here on the cone. Because as it goes up, the amount of air begins to lessen. And the reason why is because the surround is reaching its full extent. So your cone doesn't move with the same, the amount of air that's going to be moved constantly all the time. For sure, it's that hard surface. The surround, the amount of air that's being moved by it is decreasing as the surround gets to its apex and comes back down. As it gets to its apex, you're going to be relying more so on just what that flat surface right there. In my opinion, the best sound is produced by drivers that have more cone in proportion to the surround. There is a trend out today that most people want surround for greater XMAX. Yes, you will greater XMAX. I mean, if you was to mark a point here with a subwoofer that has more cone but less surround, and do the same thing on another driver that has more surround but less cone, you just put a point here and march how far that point would go. The one with the bigger surround is going to have the capability to have a greater farther reach. But I'm sure y'all have studied, as I have, that XMAX is not the one key ingredient to SPL. It is a factor, but it's not key. It's just like cone area, having that broad SD, the SD, which is a speaker diaphragm, is one aspect of getting loud, but not the totality of it. So even though I say cone area is king, that doesn't mean, well, if you got more cone area, you automatically gonna get louder. No, that's not the case. You also got to factor in XMAX. And when you factor in XMAX, having a large surround helps. I'll try to stay with manufacturers. They stay in the middle. They give you a nice size surround and XMAX. They don't go to one extreme or the other. I'm gonna give you a great XMAX, but I'm gonna limit the amount of air being moved. When you do that, you need to get multiple drivers to attain a given output, in my opinion. Whereas you can maintain that same level of output by just relying on the cone and necessarily not having that much of an XMAX because you're moving more air even though you're not moving it as farther. Two different schools of thoughts, two different ways of looking at it. But just remember that as the cone starts to move forward, for those of you who are always considering the total SD of the woofer, the half of the surround, as the surround moves forward, you're moving less and less air is being moved with the surround. And you're strictly relying on what's being moved by the cone. And that's why cone, in MBE's opinion, is very, very important. Peace. Give me if you need an enclosure, 404-694-4818. And as always, please listen responsibly.